Malala Yousafzai was born on July 12, 1997 in the Swat Valley district of Pakistan. She was named after Malalai of Maiwand, a Pashtun poet and warrior who inspired Afghan troops to victory against the British Army in 1880. Pashtun is a large ethnic group of Afghanistan. From a young age, Malala was known for her intelligence and love of learning. You might know her for being an educational activist for girls and women, or more infamously, for having been shot in the head after a failed assassination attempt on her life, at just 15 years old. Growing up in the Swat Valley, Malala was exposed to the harsh realities of life under the Taliban regime. The group, an all-male and extreme conservative religious sect, had taken control of the region in the late 1990s after the withdrawal of the Soviets. They imposed strict rules on the local population, particularly women and girls. They banned music, television, and the education of girls, and imposed harsh punishments for those who violated their rules. The Taliban essentially enforced total adherence to the strictest terms of Sharia law. Sharia law is a religious law derived from parts of Islamic tradition, and is based on sacred scripture, although there is one absolute difference between the original scripture and the way the Taliban interpret it. Under the Taliban, people can be publicly executed, amputated, and subject to flogging. It is basically the total deterioration of human rights. The 5 rules of Sharia law are the protection of religious practice, family, life, personal, and communal wealth. The Taliban have taken this sacred word and twisted its meaning to bend to their extreme ideals. Despite the challenges she faced, Malala remained determined to get an education. She and her friends would often sneak out of their homes to attend underground schools, where they could learn in secret. This was because at the end of 2008, the Taliban decided that all schools for girls in the Swat region would be closed down at the beginning of the following year. By 2009, at the age of 11, Malala began blogging for the BBC about her experiences living under what was then called the Temporary Transitional Power Rule. She wrote under a pseudonym, as the BBC had approached her father to find someone who might reveal what it was like to live under this rule. However, to her detriment, her true identity was eventually revealed. As her fame grew, so did the threats against her. In 2012, the Taliban issued a death threat against Malala, stating that she was promoting Western culture and must be stopped. Despite the danger, Malala refused to be silenced. She continued to speak out for the rights of girls to receive an education, and even started a campaign called Malala's Fund to provide educational opportunities to girls around the world. This was set up as an international, non-profit organization which would advocate for young women and girls' education, in the hope of counteracting the actions and threats of the militant group then in power in Afghanistan. On October 9, 2012, Malala's bravery and determination were unfortunately put to the ultimate test. After morning classes in a village called Mingora, in the Swat Valley, Malala and her classmates were returning home on a bus when a man approached and asked which of the girls was Malala. When pointed at, Malala denied being her, but the man shot both girls, hitting Malala in the head and neck, and killing the other girl. Miraculously, Malala survived the attack after being rushed by a military helicopter to an intensive care unit in Pakistan for treatment. She was later transferred to the UK for further medical care. The attack on Malala sparked outrage around the world, and became a catalyst of the world becoming more aware and revulsed by the Taliban regime and their so-called tactics. Malala herself became a symbol of the struggle for girls' education, and moved permanently to the UK, in Birmingham, with her family. She received numerous awards and honors for her activism, including the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014. She is the youngest person ever to have received one. In the years following the attack, Malala continued to speak out for the rights of girls and women. She wrote a book about her experiences, called I Am Malala, which became a bestseller. She also continued to work with her campaign, Malala's Fund, which has helped to provide education to millions of girls around the world. Today, Malala is a leading advocate for girls' education and women's rights. She is a role model for young people everywhere, and an inspiration to anyone who believes in the power of education to change the world. Her advocacy has grown into an international movement. Today, Yousafzai continues to work towards achieving universal education for all. She has also continued her studies, and is currently pursuing a degree at Oxford University, philosophy, politics, and economics. Malala Yousafzai is a prominent human rights activist, and the youngest Nobel laureate, working towards the education of women and children and the empowerment of girls. Empowered and inspired by content in this video, don't forget to like, follow and subscribe to our channel.